All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. First and foremost, I hope everybody had a blessed Valentine's Day yesterday, whether you spent it with a significant other, whether you spent it with family, or whether you did some self-care yesterday. Hope everybody had a fantastic day. We're in the middle of some crazy Dragon Ball gaming content right now, though, with the celebrations going on with Dokkan, with Legends getting a new rarity. We have Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ soon, Age 1000, and we cannot forget Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra as well. We are at the end of season 3, so you know what that means. New character right around the corner, Super Saiyan 2 Kefla. We have the footage right here, so let's see what she can do.
This is kale plus cauliflower. We're Kefla. Here we go.
So the first thing I noticed about Kefla is that she's able to attack multiple targets at once with what I assume is her rush attack, right? This doesn't look like a special attack. Obviously, they'll explain this in the kit breakdown at the end, but this is just some initial things that I've seen so far. So she's able to hit, I think this is Goku up here with this red blast, and then she's hitting Vegeta right here with this green blast as well, or this yellow blast. Yeah, there goes the green blast. Maybe that green blast was actually a special attack, but it definitely looks like she has, you know, multiple lock-ons with her rush attack. And obviously she's a transforming character. Do you guys think that there's gonna come a point in this game where characters have 2 transformations? Maybe they'll have a transformation at like level 4, level 5, and then they'll have another one at like level 8. I don't have, do other MOBAs do that? That could become a thing later on in this game's lifespan. Hopefully, you know, that's way later on down the line, but the way they're making these characters more unique than the last, I think that could potentially be a thing. Maybe, you know, a select few characters, but I could potentially see that happening. And this right here as well, I don't know if this is part of her super attack or her special attack. I shouldn't say super attack because I don't think this is her ult, but it looks like she has multiple dashes too. And I think they'll show it again right here. Yeah, look at that. It looked like she did like a double dash, and obviously there's, you know, a divine combo card that gives us another dash, which if she does actually have multiple dashes, putting the instantaneous the instant transmission blue combo card on her to give her one more on top of that, if it's infinite, it's not gonna matter. But if she has like maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 dashes, getting the extra one on top of that, that's gonna be like devious work. Okay, so that move right there, and I'm, you know, like I said, we're gonna go through the whole kit breakdown in a second, but this move right here, it looks like this allows her, that does initial damage right there, as we can see on both I think this is Goku and Vegeta, obviously getting an initial bit of tick damage right there, and then it allowed her to attack both of them with those red key blasts that we saw at the start of the trailer. And then obviously this is her ult that we saw in Squadra Talk Season 3. Alright, so let's get into Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, man. Alright, Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, our final character for Season 3 of Dragon Ball Genshin Squadra. I cannot wait to see who comes out next season. She is going to be our final DPS character. Concept: an aggressive hero who uses vanishing steps to attack a large area. Strike as many foes as you can and set the battle alight. So it looks like she is going to have possibly even infinite vanishing steps here, which I mean makes sense with how she was moving, especially in the anime. I guess that does make sense. Now infinite, I'm not too sure. That's kind of crazy. Maybe she doesn't do a ton of damage because she has infinite vanishing steps. That's probably something that they're gonna have to find some middle ground with between her damage and her movement and things like that. It can't be too wild. All right, so let's see. Her passive is going to be a hard-knuckled fight. Shortens the cooldown time of Vanishing Step when an attack lands. Increases the damage dealt by skills excluding super attacks after a Vanishing Step is used. Okay. So the more she attacks you, the more her cooldown is. Alright, so her rush attack, this is what we pointed out at the beginning of the video as well. An energy blast that targets multiple enemies, deals more damage to the main target. So how do you determine who the main target is? Is there like a cursor? So I'm guessing that Goku is the main target, and then Vegeta's getting, you know, a lesser amount of damage right here. I assume that's what's going on. And then obviously we have her transformation into Super Saiyan 2. Nothing really crazy here. She gets all the basic buffs that everybody gets: base HP, all attack up, things like that. All right, so this is gonna be her skill number 1, Blaster Ball, and that did a lot of That looks like it probably does a little bit of AoE damage as well. Maybe, possibly. Fires a barrage of energy blast that causes an explosion at a set position. Yeah, that's why I was saying maybe a little bit of AoE damage too. Can move, adjust it, targeted position, and use vanishing step while attacking. Okay, so Kefla is all about the movement from what I'm seeing. You're able to move with pretty much all of her special attacks from what we saw in the initial gameplay footage. She gets vanishing step back faster the more you attack enemies, and I think it said what she does more damage. She gets more damage after you use a vanishing step too, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I think there's a divine combo card that gives you more damage, or actually no, I think it's more defense after you use a vanishing step. So that on her with her passive as well. And then obviously, you know, the extra, maybe you do like a red, green, blue type of setup with Kefla. I'm just kind of brainstorming right now. Obviously, she's not out yet, but maybe you do like a red, green, blue type of setup with her. And that's probably actually what I'm going to try when she first comes out. So skill number 1, Blaster Ball. This is going to be the increased damage and allowing her to move after a vanishing step. So let's go back and watch this one more time. And as you guys can see, the meter for her passive up here going up as well the more she uses skill 1. My god, that is huge. All right, so this is Gigantic Breaker, skill number 2. Fire an energy blast in a set direction. Range and speed of the blast increase the more the attack is charged. Can move, redirect, and use vanishing step while charging. Can be activated without charging and at maximum range while a hard knuckled fight is active. So I guess that's what they're going to show right here. Her charging it up all the way, and then they'll probably... Wow, it looks like it moved a lot faster too. Yeah, range and speed of the blast. Okay, so range and speed are increased the more the attack is charged. So she charged it up all the way. It moved a lot faster than the uncharged one. Let's watch both of these again real quick. Okay, so that's the uncharged, moved a little bit slow, but it looks like they're about the same size as well. Yeah, I think they're the same size, just charging it up, obviously, you know, more range and speed. So this kind of reminds me of Bardock's ultimate move as well, or Bardock's special move. Kind of reminds me of that. It just doesn't give you the, you know, being able to manipulate the opponent's movement. It's just straight damage. All right, so skill number 3, Full Voltage. An attack that releases energy all around her. Applies movement speed up to herself, or movement speed boosts herself after the attack. Increases damage dealt to all targets during a rush attack, and applies movement speed boost to self. The more enemies hit, the greater the effect of movement speed boost and the longer the duration of the skill. So one thing that I've kind of noticed is that the more characters come out in these seasons, they kind of seem like, I don't know, maybe like a mix and match of certain other character skills that are already in the game, because I can already see like a couple of different characters mechanics and move sets kind of fused together, which, you know, it's Kefla, so I guess that kind of makes sense, kind of fused together to make some of these later characters. Like I felt that way with Bardock, I'm feeling that way with Kefla, I kind of felt that way with Ultimate Gohan as well. There's just, it's kind of cool to see how they're, you know, taking feedback from some of these other characters, maybe nerfing them a little bit, maybe giving them a little bit of a boost, but kind of taking what they've learned and certain mechanics from other characters and putting them together to make future characters. All right, so she gets a little aura around her too afterwards. That's pretty cool. And all of this is made possible, or made even more effective, with her passive skill as well. This is one of those characters where I feel like their entire kit revolves around their passive skill, like her increased vanishing step, getting more damage after vanishing step, or her, you know, getting her vanishing step back, I should say, after attacking enemies, doing more damage, things like that. So some characters, I feel like the passive isn't that as important as the rest of their kit, but Kefla is definitely not one of those characters. All right, last but not least is going to be her super attack, Gigantic Twin Blast. The iconic, oh my god, she moved fast. So I'm guessing you can, yeah, you can vanishing step with her super attack as well. Fires 2 energy attacks in a set direction, can move, redirect, and use vanishing step while attacking. And obviously she's gonna get the buffs from her passive skill if she does use vanishing step while using her, actually no, I think maybe it said that you get those buffs on every attack outside of super attack. We'll go back and look at that in a second. But the fact of the matter is that she is able to use her vanishing step, even if the passive skill doesn't necessarily activate while using her super attack. So let's just go back and make sure. Okay, so shortens the cooldown time of Vanishing Step when an attack lands, increases the damage dealt by skills, excluding super attack. Okay, so maybe the first part of this passive activates when she uses her super attack, and she just doesn't get the increased damage dealt after a Vanishing Step is used. So I'm assuming maybe that's how that works, but I don't know for sure. We'll have to see when she officially comes out, but this is looking like a really cool character. Now, obviously, my favorite character from this season, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up between, I feel like Vegito is probably the best character that came out this season. I'm still surprised that he was the first character that they dropped. Super Saiyan Bardock is probably still my favorite though. Now I know everybody's a Vegito fanboy, everybody watching this, that's probably the one character, if you haven't bought any so far, that's probably the one character that you did buy. But I don't know, we'll have to see how good Kefla is when she officially comes out. This attacking multiple targets at once, being able to Vanishing Step with everything that she does, and getting that increased gauge refill on Vanishing Step from just attacking, this character seems kind of annoying. She doesn't seem like just pick up and play like some of the other characters, but she definitely seems annoying at especially the higher ranks. I feel like Kefla is gonna be really dangerous on the other team, and you're probably gonna want one on your team as well. Kefla and Vegito on the same team. You thought Vegito and Broly was hard to deal with? I feel like these two, now it's definitely a certain type of play style that has to be implemented to play Kefla. I feel like Vegito's a more all-around character, anybody can play him. But Kefla, we'll have to see what her numbers are looking like, especially for like HP and things like that. I feel like those can kind of make or break a character, especially early game. But that is gonna do it for Super Saiyan 2 Kefla early breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know down below in the comments if you have been buying these characters. Are you interested in Kefla, or are you gonna pass and wait to see what season 4 holds? That is gonna do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.
This is Kale plus Caulifla. We're Kefla. Here we go! Ha-ha! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My power just keeps rising. It's incredible. There's only one way to see what this power can do, and that's with an all-out brawl. We're just getting started. I just keep getting more and more pumped. Game over. Now you're through. Hell yeah, this power totally